I woke up with a chill down my spine. That day had arrived, and the Great Hall of Shadows, where the recruits of Umbra Noctis gathered, was darker than ever. The greenish flames of the floating chandeliers cast shadows that danced along the walls, while the atmosphere, heavy with an almost palpable tension, made every breath seem like a harbinger of challenges. I could feel the curious glances and the murmurs spreading, echoes of the impact of my presence and the weight my lineage carried. As I waited, my mind was ablaze with questions. Will the darkness and fears surrounding me be tamed by my will, or will they turn against me? That question, silent yet powerful, was the spark that marked the beginning of the Shadow Challenge. Upon entering the Hall of Shadows, I felt as if time itself were slowing down. Every step I took resonated through the darkness, and the only sound was the soft crackling of the greenish flames that illuminated the faces and tapestries, relics that recounted the deeds and secrets of Umbra Noctis. That was when Master Zareth, a man with a penetrating gaze and deep voice, raised his hands and caught our attention. Welcome, young shadows. You were chosen because you possess the potential to manipulate darkness in ways that few can. While he spoke, I felt his eyes fixate on me in a special way. When he pronounced my name, Valerian, a subtle tone of surprise and expectation swept over me like a silent challenge. I knew that, at that moment, all the expectations of those who believed the lineage was lost rested on my shoulders. I absorbed every word Zareth uttered, feeling that in that environment, power was measured not solely by physical strength, but also by the ability to move and control the unseen.
Quick tip to level up your experience. Read Manhwas and light novels for free. Listen to epic audiobooks. Watch unlimited anime. Play cloud games with no console. And stream the best anime soundtracks. Check the description now and grab your free trials.
Soon after the reception, Zareth announced the Shadow Challenge. His voice echoed through the hall in such a way that it made the very air tremble. Today, you will face the Shadow Challenge. This test is not merely one of skill or strength. It will challenge your mind, your courage, and your ability to manipulate the shadows in your favor. Those who fail will be eliminated. Remember, shadows do not bear weakness. Upon hearing those words, I could feel the breath of every recruit quicken. Then, with a controlled gesture, Zareth caused the flames to dim and the floor to give way, unveiling a vast labyrinth. Inside this labyrinth, each of you will face your greatest fear and be tested on your ability to remain undetected. Your mission is simple: reach the Heart of Shadows and return with the Guild's mark. But be careful. The shadows have a will of their own. Seeing the recruits exchange nervous glances, I felt an inner calm settle in. Caliph, my right hand, approached and whispered, "Trust in the shadows, but don't let them consume you." With those words, I took a deep breath, adjusted my posture, and stepped through the labyrinth's entrance, feeling that all the training and every lesson learned until that moment would be put to the test. Inside the labyrinth, the atmosphere completely transformed. The walls pulsed with dark energy, the corridors seemed to move of their own will, and I felt that the air carried echoes of ancient fears. Every step was meticulously calculated. I used the techniques I had learned from Lorcan to camouflage myself, blending with the shadows as if I were one with them. But suddenly, something stopped me, a palpable presence that made me shudder. Soon, a spectral figure emerged from the labyrinth's walls. Its eyes were empty, its presence evoked a cold, cutting whisper, and an energy sword shimmered in its hand. "You're merely an echo of the shadows," I murmured, activating my ability to manipulate eternity to create an illusion of myself. In an instant, the Guardian was distracted, giving me just enough space to strike a precise blow that dissipated the figure in an explosion of energy that reverberated throughout the labyrinth. But the test wasn't over yet. Advancing further, I entered a room where the shadows took on their own forms. Suddenly, Talia's face, the memory of someone I had considered both loved and lost, appeared before me in a ghostly, anguished figure. "Why did you let me die, Eryon?" Talia's voice resonated, filled with sorrow and accusation. My heart tightened. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and, recalling the lessons I had learned about facing my fears, I replied, "I am no longer the boy I once was. I vowed to honor your memory, and I will do so." As my words echoed, the shadows assumed a gentler hue, as though acknowledging the strength emanating from within. I felt that somehow, My own fear had been subdued and transformed into determination. But the labyrinth still held challenges. As I advanced, I came upon a narrow corridor where, with both surprise and inevitability, Malric Umbra emerged, waiting for me. "Valerian," Malric said with a cruel smile, "I knew you would be here. What better place to prove who truly commands Umbra?" Without hesitation, I drew my sword and, with a firm voice, issued the challenge. "If you want to prove something, Malric, now is your chance." The battle that followed was intense, a back-and-forth exchange of blows and defenses that seemed to stretch time. Malric attacked with lethal precision, but I, now more confident and using the shadows to my advantage, managed to thwart his advances. Every move I made was calculated, every counterattack an affirmation of my will. After a brutal clash, Malric fell back, his gaze filled with hatred and unfulfilled promises, murmuring, "This isn't over," before vanishing into the darkness. After overcoming countless obstacles, I finally reached the Heart of Shadows, a pulsating altar alive with energy, where the very essence of Umbra Noctis gathered. With trembling hands, I extended my fingers and touched the altar. In response, a black mark appeared on my palm, the sacred symbol of the guild. The sensation was intense. Every inch of that mark seemed to engrave upon me the promise of loyalty, the weight of a lineage that would never be erased. With the mark in hand, I turned to retrace my steps, every step echoing the battle faced, the fury overcome, and the alliances forged. Upon emerging from the labyrinth, the Great Hall of Shadows was waiting. Master Zareth, with an assessing gaze, proclaimed, "You have passed. But remember, Eryon, the shadows not only protect, they watch. And you will still be tested." These words echoed as a reminder that, despite the victory, the journey was only just beginning and that true mastery was yet to come. At the end of an exhausting day, as the other recruits began to disperse throughout the quarters of Umbra Noctis, I found a moment of silence to retreat into a more secluded corner of the Hall of Shadows. Seated at the edge of what seemed like the very echo of darkness, I closed my eyes and allowed the day's memories to wash over my mind. The chill of every corridor in the labyrinth, the impact of that first clash with the spectral guardian, the pain and hope that emerged when Talia appeared, and finally, the burning confrontation with Malric. Each moment was like a knife honing my very being. Caliph approached silently, her eyes conveying the understanding of someone who had already faced internal battles and recognized the value of truth. "What awaits us tomorrow will not be merely a test of skill but of character," she whispered. "Every decision we make, every move we take, will determine whether we are ready to master the shadows and protect the legacy of the Valerian." Those words resonated within me like an oath. I clenched my fist, feeling the steady pulse of the Valerian ring, a living reminder that my heritage was eternal, just as the light, though hidden, shone behind every shadow. As the darkness of night yielded to the first glow of dawn, one doubt lingered. Inside the academy, will I be able to find true allies who share the same vision, or will the shadows conceal betrayals capable of destroying the legacy I strive to preserve? This question, shrouded in mystery and hope, would be the spark that propelled me into the next challenge, a battle not merely for my abilities, but for the future of the Valerian. With determination solidified and the weight of that day's trials etched into my soul, I, Eryon Valerian, accompanied by Caliph and the loyal few who had shown themselves, walked toward the imposing gates of Umbra Noctis. Every step reminded me that even in the darkest of shadows, the light and power of my legacy would never be extinguished. The journey of the Heir of Shadows continued, carrying with it the promise that regardless of the obstacles, I would face each challenge with courage and honor, because true strength lies in the ability to transform darkness into a bright beacon for those who believe in redemption and the eternal glory of the Valerian.
Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us know which stories you love most and which ones we should prioritize in future productions. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you the best manhwa content every day. See you in the next episode.